What if Deku used the three-sword style? Part 7. Finally got the number right. Last time I said part 3 instead of part 6 because I'm a complete idiot. Now, getting into it, where I left off, Bakugo and Todoroki were both captured by the villains. Right there, we see Shigaraki pacing back and forth as he starts asking All For One, why do they need these hero scum? As All For One says, we can use them. Bakugo, Todoroki, would any of you two like to join the League of Villains? We can grant you immense power if you do. Both Bakugo and Todoroki look down, almost thinking, as Todoroki says, the answer is clear. We won't. Getting cut off, Bakugo says, I will. As Todoroki just looks shocked at Bakugo and says, Bakugo, what are you doing? We are trained to be heroes. As Bakugo just stands and looks up at Todoroki after being released from his restraints and says, you were trained to be a hero. I'm being trained to be the strongest. I'll show Izuku that I'm the strongest. I'll learn swords and then beat him at his own game. As Todoroki just looks shocked as a figure comes out of a gray portal with a sword. He hands it to Bakugo and says, now strike down Todoroki. Kill him as he has not joined our side. Bakugo winds the sword back in his hand and cleanly slices right through Todoroki's neck. Jumps, does a backflip, and then stabs the sword right through Shigaraki's heart, killing him as well. As a loud thump appears, as Todoroki's head slams against the ground and Shigaraki's body hits the wall. As All For One just laughs and says, good, you are now the new successor of All For One. As Bakugo just says, thank you, Master. As he walks away. After this, 2 weeks pass, where the heroes were planning a raid on the villain base. They go there as All Might yells pizza delivery and smashes down the door, only to see a shocking sight. He sees Todoroki's corpse still laying there, smelling rotten, as he sees Bakugo playing blackjack with Kirogiri, as All Might just says, Bakugo, what are you doing with these villains? You're a hero, Bakugo! As Bakugo just laughs and says, I'm no hero. As All For One comes out of a portal and just says, he's no longer a hero, All Might. I have trained him in the ways of the sword, just like your son that you abandoned and neglected. I wasn't able to get him to join my side, but I was able to get the one with the second most potential. And now, you will die. As both All Might and All For One immediately clash, fist on fist, kick on kick, each blow being blocked by another. Was almost in sync. It was both timed perfectly. Minutes passed as both of them started to feel tired, nauseous, as they both started powering up their final blow, as they both charge at each other, and their fists smash against each other, sending huge waves of wind going down, destroying the city, as both of them were sent back, as a spike from All For One's cork right through All Might's stomach. However, All For One landed on a piece of concrete, killing him as well. Both All For One and All Might now dead. Now, at this point, Izumi runs up to Bakugo and says, Bakugo, what have you done? As Bakugo just looks at Izumi and says, I've become the most powerful. We can live rich. I can make any decisions I want. As he sees Izuku behind Izumi, he says, don't turn against me. As Izumi says, no, I won't join you. You're a villain now. As Bakugo stabs Izumi with a sword, making her go unconscious from the blood loss. Bakugo turns to face Izuku and says, you've turned her against me. As Izuku counters with, you've done that yourself. Bakugo then says, you will not take her from me. As Izuku just looks down on Bakugo. Your anger and your lust for power have already done that. You've allowed this dark lord to twist your mind, till now you've become the very thing you swore to destroy. Izuku looks on in hatred towards Izuku, says, don't lecture me, Izuku. I see through the lies of the heroes. I do not fear the dark side as you do. I brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire, Izuku counters. Don't make me kill you. Bakugo, my allegiance is to the heroes, to democracy. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a villain deals in absolutes. I will do what I must, Izuku says, as Bakugo says one final thing. You will try before unsheathing his sword, as Izuku unsheaths one of his swords as well. If you didn't get that reference, that's kind of sad, really, because that's a whole line of dialogue from Star Wars, because I had nothing better to do, and I just thought it sounded pretty cool. As both Izuku and Bakugo jump towards each other, slamming their swords against each other, as twisting their wrists, each sword being blocked by another, each slash, hit, blocked with the clanks of their sword, the pure power radiating off of them, as Bakugo sends an explosion at Izuku, who dodges. Izuku then slams the sword against Bakugo as sparks fly. Everything is going crazy as Bakugo somehow makes Izuku's sword go flying, hitting a helicopter, the news helicopter, as it slams into a building, as Izuku unsheaths his second sword and hits Bakugo, but only to be blocked by Bakugo's sword, each hit being connected, as Izuku jumps and lands on the side of a building in a window. It says, it's over, Bakugo. I have the high ground. As Bakugo says, you underestimate my power. Izuku just shakes his head, don't try it. As Bakugo jumps, only to have Izuku slash down and slice his head clean off, killing him instantly. And that was another reference from Star Wars. Man, I really ran out of ideas. Man, that was a sad laugh. So Izuku goes and checks Izumi's pulse to see she's losing blood fast. She may have bullied him, but hopefully this event in her life can change her. Bakugo, the person who she's been hanging out with and dating for the past 5 years, has now turned to the dark side and died because of it, because of his lust for power. So Izuku takes her to Recovery Girl, who says that this is bad and that she's going to need to have surgery and stitch up the wound. Weeks pass as Izumi finally wakes up from the coma she was put into, so she didn't end up dying. She wakes up and says, what? Where's Bakugo? As Izuku just looks down at her and says, do you not remember? He turned to the dark side. He died because of it. He's the reason you're in this hospital bed. Because he almost killed you. As Izumi just says no. That can't be true. Not Bakugo. He wanted to be hero ever since he was a kid. Zuku just... well, his lust for power must have taken control of him. He wasn't able to be saved. His head was cut clean off. I killed him. As Izumi just says, "You what? He could have been changed back to the hero's side." Zuku just looks at her and says, "No, he couldn't have. He was too far into the dark side. He was too far to the villains. He just wanted to spite me, to beat me. He almost killed you because of it." As Izumi just says, "Get out!" As Izuku sadly walks out of the room, only to hear a window smash. He looks back to see Izumi sitting on the windowsill. As he slams the door open, says, "Izumi, don't!" Only to see her slide herself forward and down the building. They were on the 10th floor. There's no way with her in critical condition could survive it. As Izuku looks out the window and sees her flailing body in the wind, water almost coming down from her tears sparkling in as she slams against the floor. As Izuku rushes down and yells for doctors, as they rush down to the ground to see her in a pool of her own blood. They check her pulse. She surely couldn't have survived it. And it was true. She died. Izuku just looks on, saddened by the only two people that were really his friends in childhood before he was counted quirkless are now dead. His father, he couldn't even make amends with, is now dead. Is that the right word? He couldn't forgive, I'll say that. His father was now dead, as he can never forgive him. His mother, what about her? As Izuku remembers this, he hears another ambulance go by. As he runs to it and sees it's right by his house. He's confused as he runs towards it, only to see a green-haired woman being pulled away in a black body bag. Izuku has now lost everything because he couldn't forgive people. He couldn't forgive his only parents. His sister's gone. Someone he tried to forgive after the death of his father. Now gone. Everybody in his family is dead. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy What If Deku Used the 3-Sword Style, Part 7. See ya, guys. Bye.